Hey guys, Tiny here. Today I will be showing you how I made these 3 items from the game Fortnite and what I think they would look like in real life. Let's get started. Great, so item number 1 is going to be a set of bandages. Now they look pretty much like they do in the game. I think that they came out pretty similar, and this is how we did it. So we'll take a roll of paper towel, white. They sell them individually even at the dollar store, so they're pretty easy to find. I also bought this duct tape for $1, and I'm just gonna wrap it around once until I come around full circle. I also had on hand this silver tape. They sell it at the dollar store. I've seen it. I don't know where I got it because I've had it for a while now, but I just cut 2 rectangular pieces, round out the edges, and then in the middle I just make little curves so that they look like the bandage clips. Now they do have some detail, so with a permanent marker I'm just going to make 4 little triangles on each corner and then a rectangle in the middle. I'm gonna do that for both clips, and I could have just left it like this, but what I chose to do was go over it with a silver marker so that it has like a shadowy kind of like metallic color, but that was just me being extra. I don't even think it made that much of a difference. Now, I have seen in different pictures that sometimes they have a cross and sometimes they don't. And what I realized is that in the back, where the clips are not showing, is where the white cross is. So I just used some duct tape and some white acrylic paint to paint it and make a cross. And then with another permanent marker, I make some red edges to the tape. Now, if I wouldn't have had permanent marker, I would have just used either nail polish or acrylic paint to make that border. They look good. That potion looks good too. So to the potion. For the small shield potion, I could not find an exact jar or container to put it, but I do love how it came out. It has the little floating dots that it does in the picture, and I'm really happy about that. So with a clear glass container with a cork, because it does have a cork like top, I made some slime. Now this is like a runny slime. It's not actually slime, it's pretty watery. I just used glue to make the water a little thicker. And I use a little bit of blue food coloring. I made 2 different colors. One is a little bit lighter than the other, but towards the end you see that they're kind of mixed, and I made it a little lighter anyway so that, you know, the little blue pebbles inside could show better. Now, what I used to make that is a water bead or like an Orby, and even with my nails I was able to just cut off the little pieces and drop them in there. I thought that it was gonna float, and it did, and I was so excited because, you know, I really wanted to give that authentic item look. And I think that with these ingredients I was able to do that. And you can see that they're like suspended mid-air, which, well, not mid-air, mid-liquid, I guess. They look great. You see some are floating on the top, some are in the bottom, but some are in the top, some are in the sides. I think it looks great. Now the final item is the clinger grenade. This was a little more time consuming when it came to actually painting and putting it together. It wasn't as easy as the bandages or the potion, but it only cost me a couple of dollars and it came out so similar. So to start, I bought a plunger at the dollar store, and pretty much I bought a foam ball. It's a basketball, also for $1. Now, the reason why it's foam, it's because it's gonna be easier to cut and to glue and detail. So I thought that that was a good option. I also bought this metallic paint, but it was washable. So yep, it was completely see-through. Yeah, read the label before you buy stuff. Lesson learned. So I ended up using white and black acrylic paint to paint it, and then I did use the silver shimmery color at the end to give it like a nice metallic look. This is a napkin ring, and the little legs around it are made of foam, and there has 2 crosses like on each side, or like X's, I guess. So with a hole puncher, I punched out some holes and made little circles, which are gonna serve like screws or bolts. And with E6000, I glued everything together. I did not use my glue gun this time, just because with foam, sometimes it bubbles up if it's too hot, so you have to be extra careful. And yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. This I painted with a turquoise color to make that light bar, and I also used glow in the dark paint to give it like that light color in the dark. And pretty much I'm showing you here how we're just gonna assemble the pieces. Another detail of the basketball is that the clinger grenade, it does have some little ridges painted on the picture, and with the basketball it already had them created, so I didn't have to reinvent everything. If present me could go back, I would probably maybe try to sand down a little bit those bumps, but it really is so minimal, and I love the outcome that it's really not a big deal. So when using E6000, just remember that it doesn't dry instantly, so you kind of have to hold it in place for a little bit, or make sure that you put it somewhere where it's going to keep the shape. Now I use some more of the little hole punches to put more details, and I do actually use some screws in some areas where you can in the foam insert the screws, but in other parts where it's like plastic, like the napkin ring, I use the foam pieces. And also where the details are a little minimal, I also use the foam pieces, just because I wasn't gonna be extra the whole time. It glows in the dark a little bit, in the dark on its own, and it really does pop up in black lighting, but the camera did not catch it, so I didn't really include that piece because it's really small. However, in real life, it really does look pretty good. And once we assemble the orb on top of the little legs, we are just going to slide it through the plunger, and it's pretty much going to be complete. Here I'm attaching real screws just because it's the parts that show the most. Like I said, you see on the bandages on the side, they're not real. The details there are minimal and they don't show as much, even in the picture that I got the inspiration from. Now here, my brother, who's always putting his hand on my videos, tells me that that piece is too tall. That in the picture, that rubber piece that's kind of reddish, it's a little shorter. So I go ahead and cut it and just reassemble everything again. The final detail is going to be at the end of the handle, where it has something to kind of like hang it or hold it. I'm not really sure what that's for, but I made it with a bottle cap and one of these cheap key rings. And that's it, you guys. Look how good it looks. If I do cosplaying for Fortnite this year, I'm gonna be sure to take this around. I hope you like this video. Leave some comments if you want to see more videos like this.